Rise and grind.
I shape-shifted again.
Yes. I feel like the camera's closer this time. Now that I look at it, that's fine.
I think it's a good distance. It's a healthy distance.
It is. That wide angle makes me look good.
It really ties the room together.
For sure. So we have Rise and Grind, episode 15, I think we're on. Today we also have, again, Keith Shimon. Talon is doing other things. But today, and I hate to talk about it because I never thought I would be a fan of this band. But we're talking about...
It'll be okay.
I know it's not going to be okay.
Yeah, it's going to be okay.
It's like, we're not talking about Creed, which might be the worst. But second is Nickelback.
Different levels.
And I never thought in my life that I would talk to another individual about a Nickelback song. Or I would even know a Nickelback song enough to to talk about it.
It's usually first on the agenda.
Yeah. But the song was originally played for me at a conference, and I stumbled across it, I think, on the radio maybe a week and a half ago. And then I watched a music video again, and it really started to get me thinking about the lyrics. And normally I'm the kind of music person that I can listen to a song 100 times. I don't pay any attention to any of the lyrics.
Yeah.
I just like the song because it's got a good beat. It's catchy. The lyrics are part of the music instead of being separate. But I actually took a step back and I looked at what they were saying, and it kind of just hit me in the right spot. And the title of the song is "If Today Was Your Last Day." And a lot of my friends, I think, saw me post this on Facebook to listen to the song, and there was some backlash Nickelback sucks. But
you can't expect it. I mean,
I knew it was gonna happen.
It's bound to happen.
I knew it was gonna happen. But it was a really good reflection for me that just the title of the song and some of the lyrics, if today was your last day, if you fell off the face of the planet now, would you be happy with everything that you've been currently doing? Right? So, are you happy with what you've been doing from your 9 to 5? Are you happy with the relationships that you have? Are you happy with, the connections you've been making? Are there friends that you haven't reached out to in a long time who you should be reaching out to? Have you not developed relationships in the right spots? I just thought it was a really powerful thing to reflect on that some people don't think about very often.
Well, I think it's funny too that it can lose its luster if it's done by a band. It's it's a very powerful message. It's if you died tomorrow, did you get in everything that you really wanted to do? But if it's done by a certain band, it sucks. No, it doesn't suck. It's very, very true. And there are times where that idea hits you square in the face. You wonder, because all of a sudden you're confronted with these different levels of either animosity or some type of obstacle that all of a sudden you're like, wow, am I going to overcome this? Am I doing what I think I should be doing with my life? And am I having an impact, or what type of impact do I want to have? You know, and there are times where people either try to numb that feeling or they're confronting that feeling. And I think this is all about, at least acknowledging it so that you can take some course of action and you can recognize if you are numbing it or if you are chipping away at your version of the good life.
Yeah, for sure. And you don't have to have made a substantial impact yet wherever you are in your life or whatever it may be. You just need to, it all boils down to taking the right step and doing the right thing, right?
I think also you're knowing where you are at in your own continuum.
For sure.
And that's what's so cool about the previous episodes is that you're starting to understand your own path and are you taking those actions towards this plan that you're putting together.
Exactly.
It makes so much sense.
And we've been talking a lot about time management, goals, and even like goals boils down to time, right? If you don't have goals set for a time frame specific, and your goals are way out in the future, like then you're just wasting time in between. And time is the most valuable thing that we have, right?
Yeah.
Whether, we have money, we have whatever relationships, like we have all that stuff, but time is limited. Like we only have so much time to do what we want and to.
You can't buy it back.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I think it's interesting too how people tie money into time, and most of the time when people are using their time as currency, they just don't acknowledge it. It's all of a sudden it's gone, it's spent, and then they just go right to the next thing, on and on. And they don't reflect on any of it, and especially when you're not satisfied with what you've spent it on, and you may not even realize it.
Oh, for sure. So let me ask you, like, if today was your last day, it's hard to say it without singing it like Nickelback.
You and have the grumbly voice like
grunge rock.
Well, yeah.
I was like, this is such a 90s song. And I looked up, I was like, 2008. I'm like, oh, man.
That's what they
dated myself on that one.
Just started
not the 90s.
Accelerating
not
time.
The 90s. Yeah, for sure.
Way back when, in 2008. Not 10 years ago.
I feel like everything old should just be the 90s. But like,
very true.
Are you happy with what you have done, right? So you own your own business, you have a family. Are there things that, there's always things that I would want to change, right? Are there any specific things that you want to share with people that you would change right now going forward if you realize that like you don't have a lot of time left? Like maybe today is literally your last day. Right?
You're still thinking about the song.
I can't.
I had one of those experiences when it was Jen and I, my wife Jen and I, we went on a vacation. It was our 5-year wedding anniversary, and we've been married now. We're on our 18th year.
That's awesome.
I can't believe it's been 18 years.
You got married when you were like 15?
Yeah, exactly. 15. 24 years old. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, and what happened was we went on our vacation, got back home, and literally I picked up the phone and it was like, hey, Keith, it was my mom. She was like, your father stopped breathing. So I was like, okay. I was living in Florida at the time. So literally bought a ticket that night because our phone didn't work in Puerto Rico. So flew back home, stayed there for like 2 weeks, told the place where I was working, which I was a partner in, because I finally invested in this trading partnership, which I loved at the time. At the time, I was like exactly what I wanted to do, who I wanted to work with. And then I just left. I said, I'm not coming back.
Yeah.
And Jen still had a full-time gig as an occupational therapist, a traveling occupational therapist. And he pulled out of it. Like he actually pulled out of it, and I got an extra 6 months with my father, which was awesome. But at the same time, it questioned exactly what it was that I was doing at that point in time.
Like something like that happens, and you're like, I gotta spend more time with them and things like that. It's like, but you look back and you're like, why wasn't I just doing that? Before something like this happened, right? And
it was, and this is exactly the point of that story, which was, there was part of it where I had to figure out what it is that I did and did not want to do. And then from there, I actually had the opportunity to execute and change my course of action because, I was like, hey, if I get an extra 6 months with them, that's awesome. How many visits, or if I'm staying at their house or am I living somewhere else, do I get with him until he may pass away?
Yeah.
So it's like if I visit my mom, say, now who's still alive and lives down the way from me. It's like if I visit her twice a month, like how many visits do I believe I actually have left with my mother? I'm maximizing the time that I want to spend with that I always wanted to meet, or do I just view them as a celebrity and think like there's no way I'm ever going to either work with this person or be friends with this person or whatnot. And it's the way that I view a lot of relationships now because of what, I mean, when you lose a parent or you lose your father, there's no real, it's a really weird feeling because all of a sudden there's this person you looked up to or that was a big role in your life and the big role in everyone else's life. And now when you're the only grown up male left in your family, now you're the patriarch, which is a weird feeling.
For sure. Like, this is all perfect. Like, I just think a lot of us, when we think about our lives, we don't think about the future, right? We think about like our goals in the future and where we want to be, but we don't think about what we're missing out on right now, right? Like being present in the moment, spending time with the people we should be spending time with. We're in the digital era. When you're with your family, are you present or are you on your phone all the time? I was just talking to my jiu-jitsu coach, John, about this, and his big thing right now is, he just had, he says 2 kids now, 2 kids in 2 years. And his big thing is like, I just want to be present with my kids. Like when I'm with them, I want to be with them, not just around them. Yeah. Right. So I think that's a really good question for a lot of people out there is, you could spend time with people, but are you being present with them? Yeah. Like, are you actually with them?
Yeah. You're on your phone.
Definitely.
Unless it's rise and grind. Because you should be, typing away, saying hi to us, which we appreciate.
I know.
And you see this time and time again. You're the role model for those young minds. And if they're seeing you doing it, like, why should they do anything different? Yeah. It's like, hey, you put down your device and then you're typing away.
Yeah.
And it's such a double standard in many.
I know. Or it's like all the relationships that we miss out on, right? Yeah. People all the time are like, I wish I spent more time with my parents. I wish I spent more time with this friend or these people. It's like, just do it. It's like, it's not hard. I guarantee you could take that 2 hours of Netflix that you spend a week and just like call someone and say hi and change their day.
Yeah. And also it makes you really think about your relationships. I like being in your dojo on Saturday mornings. It sets off my Saturday in a completely different direction than
it's totally different. Like the Saturdays I don't come here and we don't do rise and grind. Usually I'm traveling, but let's say it's a Sunday and I don't do anything to like get my day moving. It's just like, it's a waste then.
Yeah. And not only am I thinking about things that help establish a different baseline with my children and my wife and my family, but then it also helps me reanalyze which relationships I really do value, because there's always this, it's not like there's good people and bad people in your life. It's just, are they supporting the direction that you hope to go?
Yeah.
And if you're along a different line, you'll find out right away the people that like, maybe they're holding you to a different standard. Yeah, maybe that's scary for you.
For sure. And we've talked about that on like our previous episodes that you've been in the booths for. Mm-hmm. But like it's developing your team, right? You can have your family. People always have people in their family that they don't like. Mm-hmm. You can have your friends, but everyone knows that they have these friends who drag you down. And yeah, they're still like your best friends, but they don't raise you up like they should be doing.
Like the crab bucket. Yeah. Like you get a bunch of crabs in a bucket and one tries to escape and the other one's just grab them.
Yeah, like pulls them back down, right? Yeah. It's, you should be spending your time with those people. And, are you impacting the other people who aren't where you are right now?
Yeah.
Right. I've ran into it a lot in my life where I don't want to say like I'm ahead of the curve, but like I have a lot of stuff going on and I have a lot of passion for what I do and helping people.
You do a lot of stuff.
Like, you do a lot of stuff.
Just a lot of stuff.
People ask me like, what do you do? I'm like, work. But it's not work. Because I have so much passion for it, but
you made it that way.
Yeah. But you have to spend time with those people that raise you up, and you need to try to help the people who don't. Like, you know it. Like, if you're friends with them, you saw something in them at some point in time where, like, this person is the shit. Like, let's help them out.
Yeah.
Right. And, now we were kind of talking about this before the episode when we were listening to the song. Like, if I were to have this episode a couple of years ago, I'd be like, yeah, like, I'd be okay with it. But now, like, that I look back on it now, I'm like, that's bullshit. Because, like, me 3 or 4 years ago, like, I had a great life, but I wasn't doing what I was doing now, and I didn't necessarily recognize the potential of impact that I could have with what we have going on here.
Yeah, you made a great point in that by you realize the time where things change, and the time where you changed affects exactly how also other people are gravitating towards that change. And when you put things in a perspective of re-examining how you feel about where you're at this present point in time, the thing that really gets to the core of what I do with for other people and for myself, because it's kind of selfish too. Like, I enjoy seeing people dramatically change when I work with them. Oh.
Oh.
Like, I love seeing it, but then there's this other part of me that is blown away by the sheer complexity of the human body. It's like you're talking about trillions of. You're not one thing,
Yeah.
right? And unless you believe in a consciousness, right, in a soul kind of thing, which is a whole different discussion. But you're talking of trillions of cells that are talking together all at the same time, which have like a life cycle. So you're not the same person 1 second later, because they have to transfer all your memories into the next cell because the other one just died.
That's crazy.
So it's like you being on top of recognizing and being aware of where you're at is such an unbelievable practice. And we talked about this before. It's kind of morbid, but writing your own eulogy.
Yeah.
It's so powerful. It's like, if you died today, what would everyone talk about when they're at your funeral?
If you could be the bird's eye in your funeral, like, who would be there? What would they be saying? Would it be like, oh, I haven't seen this guy in a long time. Like, he was a good guy, but, I haven't seen him since, 2012.
We used to hang out on the couch together.
Yeah. We used to watch Netflix. Or do you want to be the guy who's like, yeah, I watched him impact people and do things with his life. Like, he didn't waste his time.
Yeah.
And not saying that, like, I love wasting time. Like, every once in a while, you just need to.
It's necessary.
Do what you need to do, and just let your brain, defrag itself. That was a freaking nerd term.
Yeah.
But, like, you need
What's
that.
defragging?
Yeah, you need old school computers. You have to, like, defrag Windows, and it takes like 5 hours. But, like, you need to do that sometimes, especially if you're like me and you're go, like robot.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's necessary. I try to do it every night, but it has its place, right? And the time that I have available, like, I have a lot of things that I want to do.
Yeah.
And I know there's not going to be enough time to do it. Like, and I'm not talking about I'm going to die tomorrow, but even if, I live my entire life, there's like only so many hours in a day where I can give it my all, try to make a positive impact, do what I need to do, and like change things and just be myself and help people. So that's what I'm here for.
Do you have any ways that that you can things that help you put this in perspective that you do, like on a weekly, monthly, or like
yeah, for sure. One thing I do every day at the end of my day is reflect on what I did. Right. It might be physical tasks, like I had these 3 targets. So every day I identify 3 targets that I want to hit that day. It might be personal. It might be, tasks I need to get done, like big things. It might just be
so you're the end of the day
impacting
guy.
people. Yeah. Like every day at the end of the day, I reflect on what I did.
Got it.
And I think it's important that you do it daily, because if you do it weekly, then you're just like, oh, I need to do one thing a week.
Yeah.
But like a week's a lot of time.
Yeah.
We do a lot of shit in a week.
Yeah. No. I like the Tim Ferriss and what's his friend, the writer who wrote the 360. Was it Holiday?
Oh yeah, Ryan Holiday.
They talk about the they write down the things that they want to accomplish for the week or who they want to talk to during
Every
the week.
week.
And they realize that if it pops up every single time daily, that number one, they're afraid of it. It's probably the thing that's going to help them the most because it keeps popping up over and over on their list.
Yeah.
And also what kind of mental blocks they have to that. So to get them over the hump, along with, I'm a big fan of the tattoo, especially like Ryan Holiday's saying about mortality.
Yeah.
And it just goes hand in hand with this. And, when you do wake up and you do realize that time is finite, it's like, do you wish it to go really, really fast and numb yourself to it? Or do you want to make each moment a little bit more along the lines of, hey man, this really kicked ass. I love this moment. Like when I come here to this dojo and I see Jack doing his thing and he loves the environment. He loves the people. I mean, you guys have great people here, and even the people that maybe you wouldn't approach because of outward appearance or like everyone here is. They understand. They buy into the.
Talon has a terrible tattoo on his neck.
Well, I mean,
maybe the first person to say it.
Well, it's funny too. There was this great meme where what had happened was they showed a guy from like, I don't know, maybe like 1960, and he had like the tattoos on his neck and like the teardrops on his eye, and it said like, do you remember the time when having a tattoo on your neck meant that you were dangerous? And then they panned it over to a guy with like the beard with like the hipster pants and like these hands on his neck for a tattoo, and it's like, not dangerous. That does not look dangerous. Although you don't have to be big and tough to actually be big and tough. I mean, we all know that. So, but when I come here, I love the atmosphere, and every time that I walk in through the doors, and I hope to provide that in my business, is that every time that somebody walks through my door, they're safe. They can be who they are. They can express themselves, and they know they're always going to feel better when they left than when they came in. So that happens every single time.
And like
they come through.
Even that, like if you could just live life like that, like if you could go to bed saying like every day,
house like that,
whatever it may be, like if you could walk around and say, I gave today everything I've got. I'm happy. The people around me are happy. I positively impacted the people around me. People have fed off my positive energy. Yeah. Like, what more can you ask for? Like, that's amazing.
And it can't be, like you said, it can't be every second of every day. And
no, but because everyone has bad moments and frustrations and bad mental blocks throughout the day. But like overall, did you do something positive that day? That's all you need.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why, like I said, I come in here on Saturdays. It's like supercharging my weekend. And I feel like it makes me a better father. It makes me a better husband. And on top of that, it's like I can build new connections because you never know who's just going to randomly show up.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, what's your name? If you're here, chances are you're thinking along the same lines. If you're watching this, you're thinking along the same lines. If you're listening to it, you're doing the same thing. And it's all about the connections that you're making between those moments in your life, because you want to start making a change towards something different. And like I always have this innate, now a lot, it's funny, I have this problem with thinking of growth mindset, because like growth compared to what, right? It's like you're changing. It's like you're just going to change your mindset from one place to another, because like where you were before doesn't belittle your past. It doesn't mean that you were a bad person or a little person or simple-minded back here. It's just like you just want different things for your life, and you want to be a part of other people's lives in a different light, and you don't have to be like Mr. Positive all the time. It just means
in fact, it gets annoying sometimes.
Yeah, it does. It does. You have to be who you are.
Yeah,
and it's either going to a place or not. Yeah,
totally. Be real, and if you don't like who you are right now, then change it, but still be real.
Yeah, completely. I mean, you don't have to pretend to be anybody else but yourself to want the things that you've created here or whatever you do outside of here. And that's what resonates with everyone and also makes it infectious.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I love it. Like, I don't know. This is like one of my favorite episodes ever because I really got to reflect on
a great song. from a great band.
Man, Nickelback. It's so grungy.
He can't talk in a normal voice.
No.
He just you were talking over the street, he'd be like, "How's it going?
Nickelback.
My Mr. Nickelback."
Yeah, like, so just some lyrics from the song, and I'm really bad at reading things, but each day is a gift and not a given right. Like, that's amazing. Because you don't know if you're going to have that next day.
Yeah.
Right? So you need to live today the way you want to live the rest of your life, right? Leave no stone unturned. Leave your fears behind. Which is also awesome because everyone has fears in their life that restrict them from doing what they want to do, right? I know a lot of people that want to help teach jujitsu, but they don't like speaking in front of a group. But like once you do it, you're fine.
If they don't know jujitsu, they shouldn't teach jujitsu.
This is true.
I love to teach.
It's not one of those things where like you can fake it till you make it. It doesn't work that. Doesn't work like that, right? So each day is a gift, not given right. Leave no stone unturned. Leave your fears behind, and try to take the paths less traveled by. That first step you take is the longest stride, which I think is probably the most powerful line of everything. It's weird that they put it at the end, but like the first step to doing whatever you want to do is always the hardest.
Yeah.
Right. It's taking the plunge. It's uncomfortable, right? It's sticking your toes into a pool before you jump in. It's silly.
Yeah.
Because something like that, like anything like that in life shouldn't be uncomfortable, but that's just the way we've been programmed, right? We've gone through so many things in life where it's something new and it's difficult and it's a lot harder than it is. But take a look back on new things that you've done before and realize like how easy it is 2 minutes after you've done it, right?
Well, I mean, you touched upon two separate things that I think are very important. Number one, if you like a band or you like a song, just like the song, it's okay. What other people think about it and your programmed idea of the song, it's like, forget it. It's going to be okay.
You don't have to like the song and just like the words, right?
Exactly, that too. And then also failure. It's like the idea that there even is failure. It's like there's no such thing. It's like it's in your brain, this idea of failure or the fear of failure or the fear of even beginning, which to me is the only time of true failure is never doing anything about it. It's like you're only learning about the things that don't work or the things that you don't like and the things you do like. That's all it's about. And if you're looking at it in a way of, well, that didn't work, I can change it. You have the opportunity to change that stuff until you're dead, and you can't change a dang thing, right? It's like, so what are you going to do about it right now, or what are you not going to do about it right now, and you're going to be okay with? Because you don't have a right to complain about anything if you're not doing jack squat to change it.
You need to be shitty before you're good. So you just need to get shitty with it, not jiggy with it,
or do
shitty with
it, or do something for free.
Yeah,
it's like if you want to learn something, guess what? And somebody has that kind of information or the type of lifestyle that you'd like, you may have to pay for it, or you may have to pay with your time, which again is the greatest currency that you have because you don't get any more of it. It's like you're going to give it. I want to give my time to you because I view it's really important.
And if time's not your biggest currency that you have, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, completely.
Something like it should be,
or you should. Your priorities.
Yeah,
it's all about shifting priorities.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love it. Anything else to wrap up today's episode?
I guess what would be cool is to hear from you guys about any of the things that you feel that you're working on right now, or that you would like to accomplish. Like, I think overall, that's something that I really enjoy as well, is to see,
you hear other people.
Yeah, to see the comments about that.
And let's be honest, like if you're a doer, and like even myself, I think if today was my last day, I'd be happy where I've been. But you're always going to want to do more. Like the people who are happy right now, they always have bigger dreams and they always have more things that they want to do.
Yeah. And
I don't think like, will I ever be happy if today was my last day? Probably not. Am I okay with it?
Yeah.
Is totally different.
Yeah. No,
right?
That's
or am I just like, I haven't done anything? Like, I'm okay being okay with it.
Yeah.
Which is good because I just know that, like, I
Very
have
meta.
more than I can do.
Yeah.
There's always more that you can do.
You know, the thing is, too, is like, are you going to overwhelm yourself, or are you going to chip away at it and do something small? I mean, the whole 4% or like 1% change.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
all it takes.
There's a reason why there's a thing called inflation, right? And it either happens really, really fast, or it happens really, really slow, and you don't realize that, like, you hope that that you have enough to be able to cover inflation in regular everyday life. Well, there's this kind of like life inflation, like things are growing around you, things are changing around you. And if you just change 1 to 3% towards the things that you want, it can have this exponential effect by the end of the year or the end of the month.
Man.
It's like
you
just change
even if it's
a little bit.
If you change 1% a month, you're talking about 12. You've changed yourself 12% in a year. Like,
you ever see Team America World
like,
Police?
Yeah,
and he's like,
America, yeah.
it's 9/11 times 1,585. He's like, what is it? Nobody knows what it means.
Yeah. Like, what if you could lose? What if you could lose? Oh, mail guy. Hey,
oh,
how's it going?
This is awesome.
Sweet.
I'm doing good.
Awesome. I got mail.
With Mr. McFeely.
But like, if you could, gain 12% on your squat, if you can lose, I don't want to say 12% body fat because some people might literally die. If you can lose like 12,
like you lose 12 pounds, well, you could cut off an arm and lose like 9.
If you did 12% better in any, like if you made 12% more gross revenue in your year, like 12% growth is good for a business.
Yeah.
Or as an individual, like
it's amazing.
1% a month that's all you need to do. And like, if you can't grow 1% a month on one specific area of your life, like have a 1% better relationship with your parents or your child or your friends, reach out to your friend 1% more that month.
Like 1%, 2% better understanding in
so big.
And anything that you want to know about. Like, you're the one buying this stuff. Well, no, maybe Jill.
I don't know.
So, like, the idea of like pretend just for a second, or visualize just for 1 second that like you had a 1% understanding, better understanding of how finance worked, or a 1% better understanding of how business worked, or how to create a separate revenue stream for your family so that you can go on vacation, or like that you can even take a vacation because you don't have to be tied down by 3 or 4 jobs in order to provide enough money in healthcare for your family, or that you finally wanted to start getting 1% better at learning an instrument that you've always wanted to learn.
Yeah.
It's like there's all these little steps, and it's the little steps that add up to these big, big gains. And my daughter has been playing piano now for 2 years. And when she first started, she didn't have any rhythm, and she didn't. Like, she was off on her timing.
Got nothing.
And now it's like, that was the dance move of the century. To Nickelback, by the way. That was to Nickelback in his head. You could hear it playing the grunge. But now she's playing and picking apart songs because 2 years later, she hasn't spent a day that she hasn't practiced 5 minutes.
That's all you need.
5 minutes. It was it. And like, she's like, I got it in 5 minutes. And I was thinking in my head, honey, you need to practice a lot more than 5 minutes if you're going to get any better at this. And no, you don't.
No.
Like, I realize now, if you're doing something and one day was 5 minutes, and the next day was 3 days of
for real.
Minutes,
I've been at my house, like I'll just randomly get up at 11 o'clock at night off my couch and be like, I'm going to do 25 push-ups.
Yeah.
And like, it was really hard at first. And now like 25 push-ups is easy.
Yeah.
Like, but it doesn't even take 5 minutes. It's like,
to sleep more? Like, sleep better if you do it?
I don't know about that. Like,
or does it wake you up?
It doesn't really do either.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just go.
You just
But like, it's substantially easier and it doesn't take 5 minutes. It's freaking 25 push-ups. I could do in like a minute.
Oh, Abraham wrote down the saying. So
Memento Mori.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
I love it.
That's so true. I can't do push-ups in the middle of the night. I have to do full-on burpees. I'm just kidding. I just wanted to say the word burpee because I think it's a weird word.
Gross.
So it's like, I think it's funny like how we name different exercises. It's like, this one's a bench press. This one's a burpee. This one's a Palloff I think maybe someday I'll have an exercise named after me that like nobody knows about. Like, it's track of these things.
The shimmin lunge.
Yeah, it has to rhyme though. Or it'd be like some sort of
shimmin squat.
What happens if you use the sh sound?
The shimmin shuffle.
The shimmin shuffle. It's a very specific speed. Yeah, I don't know. Speed conditioning term, awesome, right? Man. You need a ladder for it and some sort of well, it could be a floor ladder or a real ladder. Maybe you go
a real ladder.
You go to both.
Aluminum.
Then you got to like go back and forth on the ladder as you're climbing it while not falling.
Perfect.
Simultaneously, it's like Jacob's ladder.
Yeah.
Except a lot cooler because it's got my last name.
I love it. Well, man, I think this was an excellent talk today. You know, we just want to get people thinking, and I know if you're already thinking, you're going to start doing, because the people who think about this are the ones who actually do it. But like, are you happy where you are, and are you happy where you're going, and are you doing the things that you need to get done?
Yeah, and I'd love to see your guys' comments about where you're at as far as what you're up to, where you want to take this, what kind of things that you are implementing, especially if there's ways that any of you are tracking your progress. I'm always interested to hear how people are tracking like their own what's the word? They're like an inventory, right? Or they take a step back and debrief. It's a debriefing process, really. It's like, okay, what do I want to do, and like, did I do it? And if you do that, is it journaling? Is it something on your computer? Is it something where you have an accountability partner?
All of the above.
Yeah, I'd love to hear about what you guys specifically do, because I'm always looking for something that I can stick to as well.
Yeah, like what's going to work better. Right?
Yeah.
Always looking for improvement, areas of improvement.
Yeah, completely.
Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for stepping in today.
I love the jam. It's fun.
Keith Shimmin, he's pretty much always here on Saturdays watching. Lately he's been in it, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Do it.
Till next time.